We'll start off with this owner finance deal. We'll call it Grumman Street because that's the name of the street. And this was a half an acre lot that we got in 2023. And we just had them request a payoff from us. The loan wasn't all the way due. It was a 36-month owner financing deal. And they had paid 19 payments and then they were delinquent. I guess the buyer got sick or he needed surgery and stuff and he wasn't working or making his payments. My brother reached out to them and talked to them. We offered them what's called a deed in lieu of foreclosure, which means you can sign over the deed instead of us foreclosing on you. And then once we sell it, we'll give you, your equity out of it. So we offered them that, and then they found a friend who came in to bail them out and just pay off the loan. So that's how we ended up settling that this week, which was kind of a bonus for us because if you've been following the podcast, our business has been down this year. So we've been sort of on a recovery trail. So this was a $9,000 payoff of remaining balance on this loan. So that was a benefit to us for sure. Um, yeah, so let's break this down. I'll share my screen and we'll just break down the deal a little bit just for the nuts and bolts of it. If I can find here we go. All right, so let me see. We'll go over here and we'll just drop it in this whiteboard that I use for my team. We'll call it Grumman Street. I'll blow this up so you can see it if you're watching. So this is it's an owner finance land deal. It's a 0.5 acre mobile home lot. There was a mobile home there previously. I'm supposed to say owner finance. Owner finance land deal, 5.5 acre mobile home lot. There was a mobile home there previously. There was a septic tank. Obviously, that has to get re-inspected because it hasn't been used in a while, but it's definitely a selling point. And so what do we got here? I made a couple of notes on my white pad, so I didn't have to do this all off the top of my head. I mean, on my yellow pad, a whiteboard. So we got this lead. Let's just go right from the beginning. We got the seller lead in May of 2000. So when the seller lead came in, we saw that he had listed it previously the previous year for 22K and failed. The tax value was 14K. So normally we're trying to offer well below tax value because often when you're selling land, all you're going to sell it for is the tax value, maybe a little bit more depending on the situation, but just a ballpark rule of thumb. And so then our initial offer, I think, was maybe 7K. I was looking through Podio, but I don't have all this straight. Initial offer. So we followed up with this guy for months, and then we got the contract with him in October. And it was October 16th, 2023. So what's that? That's following up for May, June, July, August, May, June, July, August, September, October. 5 months follow-up, roughly, to get this contract. So the importance of follow-up is here, just like you're not going to always get contracts on the first try. So follow up, right? We got under contract on October 16th, and the contract price was 7,800. So this guy, part of the thing with sellers too, right, is that initially they think that their property is worth 22K, and then they get a bunch of lowball offers from wholesalers for 5 months, and then 7,800 is probably the best they're going to do, or based on all the lowball offers. So then we end up getting it after a bunch of follow-up for 7,800. So we got it for 7,800, and that was in October. We listed it for 19.9. Pushed it out for 19.9, and we ended up finding a buyer. When did we find the buyer? November 7th. Sold November 7, 2023. So we sold it within about 3 weeks. and that was an owner finance buyer. We had marketed this as owner financing available. Or I think he asked us because normally if we buy something, if we're getting something for 7,800, we're not going to do owner financing unless somebody's putting 7,800 down, right? So in this case, the guy, the buyer said he could put, so let's do the owner financing terms. He did 1,000 EMD, and then the agreement was 6,000 down payment, and then 36 months of financing. Um, and then the payment, we always do our owner finance on land at 10%. So I don't know why this is all popping up. 36 months at 10% equals roughly 44 a month. That's what he's paying. And so that's the deal we signed. And then we also rolled in the closing costs. So we financed the 1.5K closing costs, right? So he's got 20K purchase price plus 1.5K is 21K minus 6. So he's financing 15.5, right? Is that right? Did I do that math right? 15.5K financed. You got 20 minus 6 is 14 plus 1.5 is 15.5K financed over 36 months, right? And so then the wrinkle here is what happened is recently he stopped paying, and we've had an epidemic of delinquency with our owner finance payments. It's been crazy lately. There've been like 4 or 5 people out of 10 that we've had to chase around for payments. Fortunately, things are starting to get back into line, and this is part of that. This guy we ended up getting a payout on this. So anyway, he paid 19 payments. So he paid 19 payments, and then he got delinquent because he was having health issues. So then we reached out to him and we were like, hey man, we need to make some kind of an arrangement for this. He said, I can't really make payments anymore. What are my options? And we were like, well, you can find a buyer on your own, or you can sign it over to us, which is called a deed in lieu of foreclosure. Instead of us foreclosing on him, he signs the deed over to us. We create an agreement with him that says when we resell it, we will pay you your equity, less any admin costs we have. But basically, if he's into it, whatever his principal that he's paid down, he would get out after we sell it, and he would just sign it back over to us, minus like his whatever arrears and late fees and any admin costs, but you'd get the bulk of his money. So he agreed to that, and we sent him the deed in lieu of foreclosure thing and all the documentation. And then I guess they found a family friend who came in and said, no, I'll take care of this. I'll pay it off and you can pay me back. So that's what ended up happening is this friend of the family came in and she contacted us directly, and we gave her a payoff amount for the loan. And so the payoff here was 8.9K. But slow, so the 9K was nice to have coming in, right? So let's do the math on the total profit on this. So we ended up, we have to buy this at closing. We buy it and then we sell it back to the buyer, the end buyer. So it's called an A, B, B, C closing, right? We're the B, we buy it from A and then we sell it to C. And so we paid 7,800 for this. Let's just call it 8. So let's just say we paid 8. Whoops, 8K. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm in the green here. So we paid 8K, bugging me. Then he paid 19 payments times 484. So that's ballpark. Buyer paid 484 times 19. I did this math already. It's like 9196. We'll call it 9,200, 9.2K. And he paid 600 down, right? 92K, 9.2K. I mean, 6,000 down, 6K down. So he paid a total of what, 15.2? And then we got the 9.9K payoff, the payoff. I mean 8.9K. So the total there is what? 9 and 15 is 24K. 24K. And then we were into it for 8. So we make roughly 16K. So profit, and we can, niggle around with the details and stuff, and it's probably not exact, but we'll just call it 16K. And that was, in a deal that we got in 2023, we got that lead, and then we made monthly payments. We received monthly payments of 484. So after he put down his 6,000, right? And we put in 7,800. So that means it took us what, 3 of these payments to get to break even, 4 payments. After 4 payments, we were break even. He made 19 payments. So for 15 payments in a row, after we got to break even, we were in the black, right? We were making essentially $500 a month in cash flow on this for 15 months. So that's pretty nice, right? That's the nice thing about owner financing is the monthly cash flow. And we have 10 of these, right? So we're getting somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000 of monthly cash flow at any time with these owner finance deals. And then at the end of the day, when we get paid out, we can calculate our total profit. But the total profit was 16. We made 9 of it when they cashed us out, which means we made the rest of it on the monthly payments. And that's the summary of it. So that's how you make 16K on an owner finance deal. Pretty sweet, huh?